Jordan Seaton, Colorado star offensive tackle, made some revealing comments and calls out Colorado's offensive identity after their loss to Georgia Tech, where they only rushed the ball 29 times. 13 of those were to Caden Salter, leaving 16 of those to the backs. 11 of those carries were to Michael Welch, who, by the way, ran for 5.8 yards a carry. Had Simeon Price, the other back, who had 5 carries, and 1 carry to DeKalen Taylor. Take a listen, folks.
Try to make football complicated. You run the ball, they stack the box. Now you throw the ball. Once they do that, now they spread out. Now we running RPOs. We got a quarterback with legs. Now we're going to let him use his legs. So now we got to get to the point where we're playing chess with teams, And I think establishing a run will help, the pass, the RPOs, the quick plays. Will help everything. When you run the ball, people fear to run.
Bingo. I am not on the fire Pat Shurmur train or bench Caden Salter train. I am on the Colorado lean into your run game train. When after your first turnover, you go and lean into the run game. You had an unbelievable play with Michael Welch. You go down and score. Caden Salter throws a touchdown pass. Then after that, we don't see the run game much at all until the beginning of the second half, where they leaned into it. Kind of, not really. They didn't really lean into the run game at all in this game, Coach. What are your thoughts of Jordan Seaton's comments there, and then the game as a whole?
That's tough for him as a player to make that type of comment, because the fingers can come back at him because, even when they did draw back and pass, even if you're not happy with that being the play call, maybe you wanted to run, you still got to do your job. And there was a lot of times Salters was flushed out because of. So, as a player, man, you just have to be careful with those comments. Leave them to the fans like me and Bailey to make those comments. But you've said all along leading up to the season that if they didn't run the ball, that they were going to have a hard time. And you called that weeks ago. If they didn't run the ball, they would have a hard time. And I think they put a little bit of emphasis on it, a little more than they did last year.
Sure.
But still not enough.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech turned the ball over 3 times on the road. There's no way you win that ball game. I don't care who you're playing. You're not supposed to win that ball game. But when you have those consistent 3 and outs, you give them a chance to make a play. And then the other problem, and you may be about to touch on this, but the other problem Colorado has is they almost gave up 500 yards on the ground.
Yeah, Haynes King completely outrushed Colorado as a unit. Haynes King himself had 156 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Colorado as a team only rushed for 140. So, yeah, Coach Fred, Colorado defensively has got to really figure it out in the trenches. Matt McChesney and I just had Chad Brown on, 15-year NFL veteran, Colorado alum, to talk about that. He played linebacker at Colorado. Both he and Matt were pissed, to say the least, that Colorado's getting, gutted like that up front. Man. I will say Jordan Seaton's performance, though, I don't doubt his performance. He was the highest graded tackle of any tackle in college football. I think he had an unbelievable performance nonetheless. Now, it's tough to, as an offensive lineman, when it's 3rd and 2, there was multiple times with this, Coach Fred, but for example, we're 3rd and 2 right here. Instead, I was an offensive lineman, 3rd and 2, you're past midfield here. You lean into the run game. I would be pissed if I was an offensive line. I'd be pissed if I were Jordan Seaton here, because what does Colorado do? They don't run the ball. They run a sprint out. They run a sprint. So this isn't the only time they've done it. They've done it multiple times. They don't. That's not leaning into it, Coach Fred, and that's why I think they ultimately lost the game. And we can discuss clock management in a second, but that me watching it is extremely frustrating.
If you make that call on 3rd, Bailey, you've got to be telling me you're going for it on 4th down.
And on top of it, they punted it. Like they're punting on fourth and 1 on the 50. Like, it's, again,
yeah.
Why do you put so much intention seemingly into your personnel, having a massive offensive line, bringing in Marshall Faulk and Andre Gerard, if you're just gonna not use them? I don't know. And on top of the Caden Salter, he's getting all kinds of heat. To be honest with you, Coach Fred, that was kind of a Shedeur offense. I didn't see a lot of. It's hard for me to judge Caden Salter's performance when I feel like he was being forced to play like Shedeur ball. I feel like if we really dialed up some more quarterback runs, like, for example, when Georgia Tech had those 3 turnovers, they didn't fucking shy away from it and pass the ball the rest of the game. They said, this is our identity. We're going to pound the rock with Haynes King, and they worked for them. They figured it out. Colorado, the minute they ran the ball after the first drive, they shied away from it, and that was one of my biggest frustrations with their week 1 performance, Coach Fred. Do you have any comments there?
Yeah, and they didn't have to, because it wasn't like they fell behind. They could have stuck with that first drive, that first 10 on the play call sheet or whatever. And then, going back to the play you just ran, if you're going to do that, it's got to be a run pass option. He's got to have one option. To throw it is not there. Then I need to see him tuck it and get up in there. Yeah. Or unless, hey, we're going to line up, we're going to go heavy on 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and then we're going to run for it. But, to move the pocket like that, I don't know what the thinking was, but normally that's kind of what you do in those situations, especially where that ball is at that point. That's one of those, you got 4 downs to get it, kind of thing.
100%. When you have a quarterback like Caden Salter's as good of an athlete, if not better than Haynes King. Like we didn't see the quarterback powers and the quarterback runs. A lot of Caden Salter's 13 carries were him pulling it, him scrambling around and making plays with his feet, but they weren't designed runs, which is another part of Colorado not leaning into the run game. Now, Coach Fred, let's address the clock management here. Colorado, at the end of the game, they had one drive down 7 to go down and score and tie it against Georgia Tech. The first play, they come out and they run a swing screen behind the line of scrimmage. They throw it to Welch behind the line of scrimmage, and he's tackled for a loss. And that, by the way, he started the clock with 1:07 left. They don't call a timeout there, so they hurry up to the line, snap with about 45, 50 seconds left, get it off to Hakeem Williams over the middle here, gets about 5 or 6 yards. Short of line of gain, though. The clock keeps running. There's no timeout called. I would have called a timeout after the first swing screen where you're tackled for a loss. I would have cut it right there. But, nonetheless, the clock keeps running, and then Salter, they snap it again. Salter rolls out and runs all the way across the sideline out of bounds, and there's 18 seconds left, Coach Fred. That, and then Coach Prime's comments afterwards were just frustrating, to say the least. I'll show them and then get your comment, Coach Fred.
Looking at that last drive specifically, having 2 timeouts left, what was your thought process with Coach Pat Shermer, and how do you guys come up with your management for that situation?
I think we got out of bounds a couple times, so we didn't have to take them. So that's what transpired. We got out of bounds, I think, on both sidelines. And that's what happened after the first. I think we got a good play, and we caught the ball, I think, for 9 yards. We got 1 yard to go. So if you get the first down, the clock stops. So it don't make sense to really use your timeout in that sense. So we were just really trying to preserve them till we certainly needed them. So, I don't want to go home with timeouts. They don't do me no good, but you got to be strategic as well. Just burning timeouts just to burn them, just so you guys won't say nothing. That don't make sense.
And then he calls out the media at the end there. What the fuck does the media have to do with it? Coach Fred, take it away. Give us your perspective from a coach here. Go ahead.
After the first play, okay, we don't want to burn it there. I'm good with that. We hustle back. That's the first play right there. Boom. Now, I need to see him hustling a little bit harder to get up and get the ball back to the hash. All right. Second play, a little farther, a little longer drawn out. Even though you're short, I got to get it, right? I got to get it banged down right now because I got to stop it after this play right here, because I didn't stop it then. I got to stop it after this, right? I got to stop it after this because we didn't get the first down. We didn't get out of bounds. Yep. I got to stop it after this. Now I call the guys over. Now, hey, look, we get the first. If we throw the out route, whatever, we get out of bounds. We still got one left. Even if we run the ball in that situation, he's right. The clock stops. This is what we're running. This is the formation we're getting to. We still have one left. We still have clock stoppage. And we also have the option to kill it, right?
That's true.
Also have the option to kill it. But he's got to understand, the QB's got to understand, we can't have this type of play.
Also true, yeah.
Hey, 1 look, 2 look, get rid of it. Can't have you out there scrambling in that situation because the clock is ticking away. And again, to each his own. But if you don't get that first down after those first 2 plays, I think you got to bang it right there.
Seriously, and you mentioned a sense of urgency that they got back to the ball. It's just, it was weird watching how this all play out. He doesn't do anything. I was just sitting here like I was shocked. I reacted to it live here on Bailey Price Media.
That's too much time right there.
I just couldn't. I was like, I was just like right there. Like I would have called it after the first fucking play. Shit, don't even cut the loss. But anyway,
Yeah, got to have to after that one.
So what do you think of his comments after the game and what he said and calling out the media and whatnot? Part of me would want him to be like, yeah, I should have called a timeout or whatever. I don't know. I just thought the comments were certainly odd considering the situation and really line up to what he said afterwards. I don't know.
I didn't understand it because I only saw just that one when I went back and kind of caught the last part of it. I only saw like that one time.
He only got out of bounds with 18 seconds. Yeah, that's my point. They didn't get out of bounds with Welch here in the first swing play. They didn't get out of bounds when they threw it to Hakeem Williams the second play. So I'm a little lost here. I hope that we can Colorado. I don't know. We talked about it, Matt McChesney and Chad Brown and I. Where is the coach that is coming up to Coach Prime saying you got to call a timeout here? Matt brought it up. Are they scared to say that to him? Are they scared to say call a timeout? Is that something? What's the? I don't know.
Just a sense of urgency by just looking at that picture. It's almost like the kids were expecting something.
Yeah, seriously.
As well in that situation, you know what I mean? And then you can't have a long drawn out play call in that situation. It's got to be a one word, and everybody knows what that one word is, or it's got to be kill, hurry up, spike the ball. Now we're 3rd and 1 or whatever it was after that. But yeah, the sense of urgency was just the main thing, and then the comments after was just I don't know, it was a little bit off for me because I don't remember a couple times getting out of bounds under a minute, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and as a coach, in offseason, you have the whole offseason to go over scenarios, all kinds of scenarios, clock management scenarios, 2-minute drill, etc. It seems like this is a scenario that you would have gone over and handled differently based on practice, but
get up right now, find that ref, don't throw it to it, hand it to him, because if he drops it, he's going to fumble around and get to moving. Everybody needs to be yelling whatever the call is. See, it's too casual right there for me, Bailey.
Yeah, unbelievable, coach.
Gotta
go. We'll see how Colorado, they go and face Delaware in week 2 and then have Wyoming in week 3 before they open in conference.
They got to get those two, man.
Oh, they can't. No, Coach Fred, they can't drop them. They got to blow them out, and they got to look commanding on offense here, really establish the run game and actually lean into it. That's the thing. There's several takeaways that I think against lower competition, Colorado can definitely work it out, have a good 3 quarters. Maybe Colorado fans would like this. See Julian Lewis in this 4th quarter or something. If they blow out Delaware or something. I'm just saying Colorado has 2 games against lower tier opponents where they can, I think, really work out the kinks before they begin in conference play.